Field, field. Hold it. Nice shot, Field.
We're up here in southwestern Ontario, early October, with a good buddy of mine, Luke Schrader's. We're going to be chasing Canada geese and ducks in the cut wheat fields.
Should be it. Get ready. Get him, boy. That was fun.
That was pretty.
Wow, Coda. Man, they couldn't have done it any nicer.
Oh, that was awesome.
DU has been showing us what we can do, and it's that can-do spirit that I believe in.
Take it.
Don't forget, Ducks Unlimited.
Ducks Unlimited Television is presented by Drake Waterfowl Systems, innovators in waterfowl hunting.
Hello again, I'm Ainsley Beeman, welcoming you back to another episode of Ducks Unlimited Television. Later in today's show, we'll be in Oklahoma with Mike Stewart of Wild Rose Kennels for surprisingly challenging hunts with uncooperative mallards. But right now, we're headed back up to Ontario to meet up with Luke Schraders of Wing Feather Outfitters, Pat Keogh of Ducks Unlimited Canada, and Field Hudnall to finish up a dream hunt in Canada. Thanks for joining us on DUTV.
There's a pair coming real low on the duck. On the second morning, we decided to bring a few more guns to the field. We had Pat Keogh joining us, who is Director of International Partnerships for Ducks Unlimited Canada, as well as Scott Rumble and Brandon Ouellette, who are two outfitters that help Luke with the guiding. Once the geese started flying, they didn't stop. The geese were coming in, and it didn't take long, and we were all just about done with our limit. And then the ducks started. Once the ducks started flying, it got absolutely crazy. There we go. Too far left. Oh, wow. I keep working left. There we go.
Get him, guy.
Good job.
Coda.
That was awesome.
That was cool. That was beautiful. A nice big wad.
Yeah, that worked out perfect, them coming back around versus squaring up and then going off to the left.
Good
That was a
job.
nice one there. Yeah.
Coda.
Well, it's early October in southern Ontario. We're dealing with a number of different species of waterfowl, primarily Canada geese. Some are local, and then many of the James Bay population that are passing through. As a result of concern for James Bay population, the limit is only 3 geese a day per person in Ontario this time of year. Having said that, we saw great numbers of geese and had great hunting.
Here we go.
Good shot. Coda. Nice shot, Pat.
All right, thank you.
Good.
Go to sleep now.
I can go back to sleep. Good work.
I think everybody was pretty excited because we had the missing element that we did not have on the first morning. And it's a very important one, wind.
Who wants
Me and you, Pat. Let's get him, Pat. Coda. He's shooting.
All right.
Good.
Another thing that I absolutely love about hunting Ontario is because we're hunting James Bay population Canada geese. This species of geese is the reason I love goose hunting. They're big birds, they've got a deep sound to them, deep tones. These are the geese that I kind of dedicated my life to trying to emulate. I want to sound just like them. And to be honest with you, I don't think any goose caller, no matter how good you are, can make those sounds that literally when you hear them, it gives you goosebumps. They are just absolutely amazing to call and amazing to hunt. That is cool. Good job.
You shot the little one. The little one was banded. That's the only ones I shoot at. Good girl here. That girl. I got it. Good girl. The main man got it.
This morning's setup was a little bit different. We had a large field. It was a lot bigger field, so we had a lot of rolling hills and a lot of different places for the birds to go to. The one thing that I noticed that really helped the hunt was we had a good wind, so the birds would come to the decoys a lot more. With the wind the way it was, we could definitely center up the birds for the guys, and there was lots of shooting for everybody.
Get him, guys. Jeez. Anybody? All right, nobody get him. Get back down.
What happened there? That one about touched Pat's boot bag. Oh, wow. Oh yeah, they're coming.
Get him. They flared at the last second.
Ooh.
Left side, left side, left side. Get him, Pat. Nice.
All right.
Nice job, guys. That was a pretty way to finish it, too.
That was cool.
Nice straight. Good girl.
Man, they're pretty.
We're going to be back before lunch today. Definitely before supper.
In 1937, far-sighted duck hunters recognized the challenges facing waterfowl and their habitats. Their vision became Ducks Unlimited. Today, we face similar challenges. In the past decade, the rate of wetland destruction has increased 140%. In some areas of Canada, 70% of wetlands have been lost or degraded, and we lose 80 wetland acres every day. In the U.S., over half the historic wetlands are gone, and thousands more acres disappear each year. Business as usual is not acceptable. We must be bold in our efforts to address this crisis. We must rescue our wetlands. Ducks Unlimited has a plan to address these challenges. Our new Rescue Our Wetlands campaign seeks to raise $2 billion by the end of 2018 to restore and protect North America's most vital, yet most threatened landscapes. Rescue Our Wetlands combines the forces of DU Inc., DU Canada, and DU Mexico for a campaign that is truly continental in scope and aims to change the face of conservation across the continent. But we can't do it without you. Find out how you can help rescue our wetlands at ducks.org.
Coming right down the creek. There's one right down the creek. Very cool.
Nice shot, Field.
Thank you.
For the third day, we have something different kind of lined up for the guys. Doing a wood duck creek where there's a bunch of oak trees along the creek, and the wood ducks are landing on this creek early in the morning. They're feeding on the acorns that are falling down from the trees, and they flip back out of these creeks in mid-morning and go roost back on ponds. Could be an exciting little shoot for the guys' last day on the trip.
Coming right down the center of the field.
Yep. Everybody get one. There you guys, get them.
Got it.
Oh.
Come on, get back over.
I don't know where they want to go.
I don't know.
They come back.
Coming back, do it or go away.
Yeah.
Going towards the field. Right down the center.
Get him, guys.
There we go. That's a lot better.
He's coming back around.
That made up for the last group.
Yeah, that was better.
Luke's dog Dakota is an absolute all-star. She almost had this little prance. It's like a cocky little, you know, I got this.
Southern Ontario is a very important staging area for waterfowl in the Mississippi and Atlantic flyways. Ducks Unlimited has focused efforts on restoring wetlands to support breeding populations. Southern Ontario has experienced about 70% or greater wetland loss historically, so our work here has been very critical in supporting these populations.
Oh, creekside, 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 creekside. Here's these two. Nice. It's our third morning up here in Ontario, and it's been a fun morning to say the least. We got a small river in front of us, a field spread behind us. Those wood ducks are coming down the river, and right there at the last minute, they either decide to go to the field or they stay in the river. So it's a pretty interesting little shoot. We shot a few ducks. We're gonna see what the rest of the morning brings us.
Here you go, here you go, here you go, here you go. Out front. A little bit like that. Get him, guys. Nice shot, Field. We got geese with Teal.
Nice! That is awesome.
Yeah, that is a
Yeah,
first.
the first time was like, no, we're not gonna pass shoot them. Then they just locked up.
Yeah.
It's like,
They
yeah.
start dropping down like that.
It is time to shoot. Get it, Dakota. That's awesome. Man, that's pretty. Overall, this trip is one I'll never forget. I was able to come back up to Ontario and hunt with my good buddy Luke, and I was able to bring DUTV up here, share with them why I love Ontario. This place is magical.
Sporting dogs are athletes, and just like all athletes, they should have a warm-up period before they have an exertion or high-impact exercise. You're going to injure your dog if you don't. If you take a dog straight from the dog box, the dog pen, or your crate or trailer, and start doing high-impact exercises, injury can occur. These are some of the ways that we ramp up our dogs at Wild Rose before we go to the field. The dog comes out of the pen under control. We take some basically about 5 to 10 minutes to do some stretching exercises, some movement and heel work, lead conditioning, sit to the whistle. For instance, heel and reverse heel. We can do some squares, stretching these muscles. You notice I'm on the side of a hill. As they turn, they're having to make different turns and putting different pressure on different legs. I'm keeping Deke on lead, right? Smoothing up his obedience. He makes his turns. Maybe some sit to the whistle. Off lead work. A good sit. I can walk by him, call him to me, here. We can switch over to a little sit to the flush, heel. But you notice no retrieves. That's too high impact. A sit, a recall, that works. What we're looking for is stretching, movement to warm those muscles up. Swimming's great, but we'll stay away from anything that could cause joint type injuries or muscle strain. Investing 10 to 15 minutes before you're training or you're hunting will be well worth it to avoid one injury in your sporting dog.
When you hear ducks quacking, they're not always saying the same thing. Ducks have different voices and they have different ways that they say things, different inflections. When a duck is out there in the marsh, you may hear a hen mallard, which by the way, is the only one that makes noise. The old drake, he just makes that raspy old quack. But a hen, she's got a quack that she just a plain contented quack, just. And then she's got a quack that when she's looking for a boyfriend, she's got a little bit longer, a little bit louder, a little bit more excited type quack. She'll say. And then she's got a completely different quack that is an alarm quack. Most everybody's heard it. Quacks will be sharp, loud, and very close together. And it's a. As she flies out of sight, she's saying danger, 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 get out. You've got to learn one other quack, and that's kind of like a younger duck, not a baby duck, but a young of the year duck that says. She doesn't have the same gravel in her voice, she doesn't have the same sound. She's a much younger bird that's just been hatched that spring and coming down that fall. So learn to quack and learn what they're saying when they quack.
Duck Tactics has been presented by Buck Gardner Calls, champion of champions.
That wraps up our time in Canada. Special thanks to Luke Schraders, Pat Keogh, and Field Hudnall for a great hunt. Now let's join Wade Bourne and Mike Stewart in Oklahoma, right here on DUTV.
Well, we're set up here in Oklahoma, western Oklahoma, almost in Texas, and we're on a peanut field. We got a big center pivot irrigation setup behind us. We're watching a gray sky for ducks. This is a great setup. I love the way these blinds work, and got a good decoy spread, and we'll just see what happens.
Okay, Drake. That's what we want.
Oklahoma dry field hunting, the peanut fields, are just a very, very special place to me. Big, beautiful mallards and pintails. When you knock a few down, you can see the dog work. Thrilling experience when the bird really come in right.
Late season is really tough, especially in Oklahoma, because they've been shot at and pressured all the way down here. Once they get here, then we're pressuring them. You almost have to think of new ways to set up. Hopefully we'll have what we need to shoot birds.
Shoot him.
Deep.
You want to see the good work that DU has done, you come to southwest Oklahoma and hunt these peanut fields. They're out here by the bunch. Hunters ask a lot of times, where are the ducks? Well, I don't know where they all are, but there's a lot of them in southwest Oklahoma right now.
As everyone knows, the when and where of excellent duck hunting is not an exact science. We braved some very serious weather in Oklahoma to be at the right place at the right time with the right folks. But like many hunts, our time in Oklahoma was a test of character. But what better characters to have out there than Mike Stewart of Wild Rose Kennels, our very own duck dog guru, his good friend Tim West, and the incomparable Wade Bourne. Thanks to all, and thank you for making DUTV one of the most watched shows on the Pursuit Channel. See you next time on DUTV.